I'm excited to announce that we're having our first ever mega sale on overstock clearance and brand new products. For example, save over 50% on this season's flannel sheets. Queen size only $59.98. Kings only $69.98. I'm excited to announce that we're having our first ever mega sale on overstock.
Okay, welcome back, guys. Welcome back. We're having some technical difficulties. Nothing is working on the studio show. Yeah, so welcome back. We're gonna try to get back to this show. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you. I think we're good. Sorry, we're having a little, if you guys can hear, we're having a little error on this side. I don't know. Let's see if I do that. Let me do one. How about now? Do we got sound now? They can't make this any more difficult with today. We should be good. How about now? Do we got sound now? We got sound now. So as I was saying earlier, yes, I got you all. Trust me. Trust me. That's why I'm not sitting here bringing you news, trying to get the sound fixed. It's just been a nightmare trying to get this thing going. I don't know what's going on with Rumble, but I think Rumble might be under the same attacks that X was under earlier. So welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. We're going to get going into the show. It looks like we have everything going right. And again, thank you all for tuning in. If you could hit that thumbs up button, if it'll let you, and share this out, guys. We got a lot of things to talk about here. And one of the things that we want to start with breaking news is actually something.
Old Horse Street, Douglas Street.
That, let me make sure this will actually share the screen. That actually was shared by Alex Jones. One of his InfoWar reporters was brutally murdered last night. Take a listen to this. Sad, man.
And Old Torf Street. A 911 call came in just before midnight last night. Bear Tryon has been there for us within the last few hours to figure out exactly what police are saying from that investigation. Good morning.
Police really releasing few details about what happened overnight, but this is what we do know right now. Police say they actually found the victim here in the parking lot of this apartment complex. EMS ended up taking that man to the hospital where he later died. Right now, police will not say exactly if he was shot or stabbed, only saying that he had obvious trauma. Homicide detectives still on scene, as I mentioned this morning, collecting evidence. We've seen also a lot of activity in a second floor apartment where they've been taking evidence bags out. Right now, police say they do not have any information about a suspect, and they're asking if you know something about that to contact them. You can also remain anonymous using Crime Stoppers.
The afternoon of Monday, March 10th, 2025.
Take a listen to Alex.
The InfoWars family of viewers and listeners into the world with some really horrible news. There are a lot of really cool people that have worked at InfoWars over the years, and one of the most amazing people was Jamie White. You know him as a great reporter,
and researcher. He was up here last night working late during the Sunday show and after it. And we even have his last post on X where he responded to Elon Musk. Jamie was murdered last night outside of his home, just a few miles away from our studios. And we are the folks here breaking that news first because his family has been notified, and his good personal friends here that were very close to Jamie have talked to his folks and family. We sent some people over this morning when he didn't answer the phone because he's always here early, loves to work, loves to fight tyranny, loves to promote freedom. And when they got to the apartment complex, there was yellow tape everywhere and blood all over the parking lot. And we went and talked to the manager. They didn't know anything. It's like everybody else we see in the left. They just very laissez-faire. But our crew member saw a police officer and went and talked to them. And they made a phone call. And she had the details when she talked to him and knew Jamie. The police officer said, yes, he died at the hospital very soon after they got him there. The police responded within 2 minutes.
Just sad, man, sad. So we're going to follow that story, see if there's any details out. The police aren't releasing a whole lot, but man, you never know when it's our time, guys. You never know when it's our time. And don't take today for granted. Don't take tomorrow for granted. That's definitely somebody, that's one of us pretty much that don't know the reasons. And again, we'll follow up on this here in a little, probably later this week and let you know what happened. But what a horrible situation. Speaking of horrible situation, Dylan Mulvaney is back in the spotlight, even on The View. But I wanted to play just, and I know I got to put you through it, guys. It's part of the culture war we face today. And this was Dylan Mulvaney making I guess, a media appearance on multiple media outlets. This was CBS Mornings. Take a listen to this guy.
I was so scared that news outlets would take my admission into a mental health facility as a way to paint me and all trans people as psychos who belong in the loony bin.
It resulted in a lot of suicidal ideation and dissociation. I'm still battling with some of that guilt and that shame and that dysphoria that was projected onto me during that time. And that was a situation that I wouldn't have wished on my worst enemy now that I've lived through it.
Mulvaney says she never wanted to be an activist, but has found herself navigating a society that's not always supportive of trans rights.
On his first day in office, President Trump signed the order which recognized two sexes, male and female. When you heard that pronouncement, what did you think?
It didn't change any way that I think about myself because I'm a woman no matter what my passport says. We are not hurting anyone. We're less than 1% of the population in the way that they speak about us.
Listen to that. Less than 1% of the population, but everywhere you go, it's shoved down your throat. Whether it's outside a pub, an Apple store with a flag on it, whether they're marching up and down your streets and forcing your city hall to worship them like they're some god. Less than 1%. And you have indoctrinated our schools, making this normal when it is a mental health crisis, making it the fad of the week, and all because you need help. You need help.
So often is as if we're like taking over cities like Godzilla. We're just being our authentic selves.
The Trump administration has also tried to ban gender-affirming care for people under the age of 19. A federal court has blocked that for now.
And what do you say to those who do question gender-affirming care, believing that it could be irreversible and lead to problems later in life, even cause regrets?
I don't have the lived experience of a trans child that was able to seek out that care, but I ultimately do believe that parents know their child better than a government does. We should let those families figure out what is best for them.
Oh my gosh. And there's more. There's more we'll bring up. But again, to mutilate your children's body, to do permanently altering, irreversible harm to your child is child abuse. And I'm glad the government stepped in. Caden just turned 4. I couldn't say, you know what? He's a bodybuilder. Let's put him on some steroids and make him buff. That would be a bad parenting move, right? These people just don't get it. They're not into getting it. Listen to this one over here. I mean, it gets better because you can imagine.
Last week.
Oh, you heard that voice. You heard that old miserable hag right there. Take a listen. Take a listen.
California Governor Gavin Newsom said that he thinks that trans athletes competing in girls and women's sports was deeply unfair. Now, I want to hear what you think, because I'll tell you what I think, too.
Yeah. The last time I played a sport, I was 6 years old and I was on a soccer team, but I assigned myself as the nurse. So I sat with the Band-Aids. And so in the words of Wicked, I am not that girl. But a dear friend of mine, Skylar, he is a trans athlete. His handle's Pink Manta Ray. That's someone who I really look to for guidance. And I think that is what's tricky is like, now stepping in this identity, I'm still like a baby trans. You know, I've only 3 years in. Tomorrow's my anniversary.
Oh, yay. Happy anniversary. Prozac wouldn't work. Again, we need to quit enabling this behavior, acting like it's normal, because it's absolutely not, and getting these people the absolute help they need. But I want you to listen to how Whoopi wants men in women's sports. Take a listen and just the craziness.
Your friend went from female to male and is competing with other males.
Correct.
No.
Yes.
Her friend.
Her friend went from female to male and is competing with other males.
So Gavin doesn't have a problem with that.
I think part of the problem.
Well, there's not an unfair advantage. Men and women are built differently. Biologically, we are not the same. God created us differently. Just like, I mean, there was a reason growing up when we had logging and stuff, it wasn't women out there. It wasn't women doing the heavy labor. When I go to the gym, I don't see women that look like women putting on, 180 pounds worth of plates for a bench press. For one, again, we have testosterone in us at men. We have other chemicals that make us stronger. And we've seen it time and time again. It's why we had men and women's sports. If you put a women's basketball team up against a men's basketball team, the women will get absolutely slaughtered. And it's just sad that these people want to keep pushing this, and they're upset with Gavin Newsom. We played that towards the end of last week. Gavin Newsom took some heat for it. Again, Gavin Newsom don't care about any of this. What he cares about is polling numbers. That's why Gavin didn't. 76% of Americans don't think males should be in female sports. Seems like that's something I should go for. It has nothing to do about anything else.
Problem with that?
I think part of the problem that the trans community is facing, and it's the same problem that women face, is if you don't know anything about our bodies, you don't know how it works. Mm-hmm. So when you come in and you say, these are men, competing against women, you're assuming that the women are weak and just can't do anything except be here. Have you seen female athletes? They know what they're doing. Mm-hmm. So
then why every time when a record's broke, whether it's track and field, long jump, these women have known what they're doing in sports for longer than I've been alive. Why do their records keep getting crushed? The women. You don't see women going in men's sports and dominating. You'll never see that. This is how out of touch and ridiculous these folks are. It should drive anyone and everyone absolutely
I'm not sure
insane.
what's going on or why this is an issue. The same for me as when people say, oh, you know, I don't know how I feel about you. You do. God doesn't make mistakes.
No.
And the challenge is not to the trans people, it's to the people who are not trans. That's what God is looking to see, how you treat people.
Yeah.
That's what is happening. So I was just curious as to what I liked your answer.
Thanks.
Yeah, and again, there is a different breed of just what we are. God created us different. One can birth a child, one can breastfeed, one can do the things of nurturing like a mother does. And I'll go even farther. I believe there is roles in the home. I grew up old school. I try to maintain that old school value. We talk about what's going wrong with society when kids don't even see their parents because, you know, you got both parents outside of the house doing all these things. And it shows. It was kind of funny. We were having an interesting conversation about this at Caden's birthday party, and someone stated, you know, if you think about it, the roles of a mother, the way I was raised, was more than a full-time job just to stay at home and cook healthy, clean meals like we used to eat. And now we see everybody eating that processed food, and we're seeing the results of it too. And once we get all that evidence backed up and everything else, people are going to feel really stupid. I don't know if they will feel really stupid, but you know what I mean. It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting what we've done to our children and what we are doing to the community that just needs mental health help. So who remembers this person right here in the red circle? That's right. That was an amazing day, really. A historic day and a miracle day. Well, Sean has now been sworn in. There he is, Trump right there, the Oval Office, sworn in by Secretary Noem as the Director of Secret Service. So, again, they're doing a lot of cleaning of the house in the Secret Service and in every department. We're going to get into that here in a minute, some of the protests that are going on and what we're seeing. But it's good to see somebody who Trump got to know while he was on Trump's detail. Obviously, Trump seen something, professionalism, hard work, integrity, and thought, you know what, this is my next director. Tulsi Gabbard announced today, and we talked about Trump ordering this, but these folks here, let's see, Anthony Blinken, Jake Sullivan, Lisa Monaco, Mark Zaid, Norman Eisen, Letitia James, Alvin Bragg, Andrew Weissman, and the 51 signers of the Hunter Biden disinformation when they lied to you and told you that Hunter Biden's laptop that talked about his father, Pedo Pete, talked about a lot of things, including some of the embezzlement, the fraud, the Ukrainian deals, Trump, or actually even the business deals that Joe Biden had while he was VP. All those, and said that's not true. That's Russian disinformation. All of them have had their security clearances revoked, and this was Tulsi Gabbard's. She is the director of national intelligence. It says, per POTUS directive, I have revoked security clearances and barred access to classified information for the following folks. And the president's daily brief is no longer going to be provided to former President Joe Biden. And I think that's a good thing because we know, as well as everybody else knows, that he is not mentally fit to have that information. We don't know where that information was going. I listened to I wonder if I still have it up. I don't think I do. I listened to something a little while ago about the House Speaker, Mike Johnson, and gave an example of meeting with Biden a year ago in January, and him asking Biden some questions about why some things had been done, and Joe Biden didn't even realize they had been done. They are now doing an investigation to see if he even knew or was competent in the things that he signed. Again, we know that his staff and the deep state was controlling everything that went on. And it's just wild. Also, earlier today, we reported that Twitter was having outages with the DDoS attacks. We got some more information on that. Elon Musk said it was a very large attack. Here is the outage. Started about, I don't know, what would you say, 6 a.m, and then went up, was going on throughout the day. And so it looks like they've been able to track down some of the IP addresses linked to it. And it was a Ukrainian IP address. Seems to be what was the cause of this. Now, this don't mean it had anything to do with the Ukrainian government or any. They have hackers everywhere. But listen to Elon Musk talk about this right here. Let's see.
Cyber attack on X today, which shut it down and may have been foreign sourced. Yes. It's a big story. You want to give us a moment on that?
Well, we're not sure exactly what happened, but there was a massive cyber attack to try to bring down the X system with IP addresses originating in the Ukraine area.
There was a cyber attack.
Have that. So I'm sure we'll see more. But guess what? The left, the anti-Americans didn't waste no time. No time. They weren't worried about a foreign entity going after an American company. No. This is Elon Musk company. Take it down, right? Listen to what the jihadist supporter said. This is from Jayapal, Rep Jayapal. Maybe Elon Musk should prove he can run Twitter before he tries to run our government. Think about that for a minute. This is no different than if it was Ford, if it was AT&T, if it was Verizon. I'm pretty sure Rep Jayapal, who hates this country, hates everything it stands for, supports open borders, would she be going after the CEO or the person that purchased AT&T? Or would she be upset that foreign entities are doing destruction and trying to take down American companies? Think about that. This is how far we've gone, folks. This is how far, when an American company gets an attack, the left, the Democrats, they don't care. They try to further take down those American companies. And I don't care who you are. This is wrong. It doesn't matter if it would have been Facebook. I'm not a fan of Facebook. I wouldn't say, oh, well, Mark Zuckerberg needs to learn how he can run Facebook. No, I would be like, hey, maybe our intelligence agency should go look and do a little information. Maybe it was Vladimir Zelensky. Who knows? I'm not saying that by any stretch of the imagination, but it'd be nice to know who it is. We know why they're doing it. We showed you in the first show all the protests at Tesla, all the people calling for Elon Musk and Donald Trump to be executed. So it's not like this was any surprise. But as an elected representative for the United States of America, you think your first priority, and we've learned it's not, would be America business, America companies, and America citizens. And once again, they show you, no, they're rooting for this hack to go through. And it's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. What else do we got coming up? Let's see. So Elon Musk, Senator Mark Kelly did a tweet and said, just left Ukraine. What I saw proved to me we can't give up on the Ukrainian people. Everyone wants this war to end, but any agreement has to protect Ukraine's security. I'll put it up here on the screen so you guys can go along with me. And can't be a giveaway to Putin. Let me tell you about my trip and why it's important we stand to Ukraine. And Elon Musk said, you're a traitor. So Senator Mark Kelly says, traitor? Elon, if you don't understand that defending freedom is a basic tenet of what makes America great and keeps us safe. Maybe you should leave it to those of us who do. So this is the same Mark Kelly that knew, that was getting the information that terrorists were coming across our southern border, that tens of thousands of illegals per day were coming across. We didn't know who they were. We didn't know, but we knew they were going to take a strain on this country. We knew we couldn't afford them. A traitor sat there and did nothing, and that traitor would be Senator Mark Kelly. So don't play like I know they've hoisted you up to be an anti-Trumper recently, but don't play like you care about the American citizens. I'm sure you care about Ukraine, just like many Democrats do, more than you care about the United States of America. That's without a doubt. Democrats have done nothing that is America first. They have tried to destroy us with their social programs, their welfare programs, try to make this a Marxist socialist country. And then when Elon calls him out as the traitor he is, because what did Senator Mark Kelly do about the border? Isn't Senator Mark Kelly in Arizona? Where we were down in Arizona numerous times. We know there was terrorists coming across. We know there was bad people coming across. What did Senator Mark Kelly do? Oh, he didn't go down there, but he went to Ukraine. He went to Ukraine. And then check out Elizabeth Warren here. For Donald Trump and Elon Musk, if you don't bend the knee, you're a traitor. Senator Kelly served in combat as a Navy fighter pilot. He's commanded NASA missions into space. He's a patriot. Like many of us, he believes in freedom and democracy, including for Ukraine. Well, what kind of freedom and democracy do these people have here for the United States? For the citizens, not the illegals, not the pro-Hamas groups that we're going to talk about here in a minute. But what freedom and democracy for me and my family, who's been here for generations, who's paid our debt? Any? Oh, no, we're going to focus on Ukraine. I got it. Doesn't surprise me one bit. So we have someone else. Mark Carney is the new Justin Trudeau in Canada. He put this video up. It says, the polls are closed. Thank you to everyone who joined us on this campaign, and let's keep building together. And we're going to show you, we're not going to spend much time on this because it's Canada. It'd be just like about as much push as Maine has. You didn't even put no audio in this. So let's see what he says about the tariffs and what's going on. Hold on, I got to find out which. There we go. Got it. I had to figure out. Whoa. So here we go. Let's take a listen.
There's someone who's trying to do the opposite. There's someone who's trying to weaken our economy. Yeah. Donald Trump. And Donald Trump, as we know, has put, as the Prime Minister just said, unjustified tariffs on what we build, on what we sell, on how we make a living. He's attacking Canadian families, workers, and businesses, and we cannot let him succeed. And we won't. I am proud of the response of Canadians who are making their voices heard and their wallets felt. I am grateful for how our provinces are stepping up to the fight, because when we are united, we are Canada strong. The Canadian government has rightly retaliated and is rightly retaliating with our own tariffs that will have maximum impact in the United States and minimum impact here in Canada. And my government will keep our tariffs on until the Americans show us respect.
Show you respect, huh? How about showing the United States of America somebody who you've literally rode the coattails of? How about showing respect for those families, those parents who lost a child to fentanyl? The one thing that Donald Trump is trying to stop at our borders and save the lives of so many people. And really, it's Canada making it a political game.
And until they can join us in making credible and reliable commitments to free and fair trade. As Krista did. Yeah. And in the meantime, we will ensure that all the proceeds from our tariffs will be used to protect our workers.
They're going to learn. They're going to learn. But again, that person is just as bad as Trudeau, just another puppet for the left. And we will see how well he does. Before we get into the next one, there's a funny one, a Doge protester, and then we're going to get into the pro-jihadist Hamas person who was detained by ICE. We got some protests that were breaking out there. But before we do, guys, check this out. Head on over to Truth Social. If you're looking for a great place online for news, discussion, and entertainment, then check out Truth Social, Donald Trump's social media website. You'll get breaking news stories and commentary from top media figures. If you want to see Trump's legendary Truth Social post, then get on Truth Social today. Join a growing community of patriots on a free speech platform designed to avoid censorship and cancellation by big tech. Make your voices heard. Join the movement. Join Truth Social. We're starting to post there a little bit more now. We're going to be posting some stuff. But listen to this. Listen to this. This is great, guys.
When you wake.
Oh, man. You can already tell by the looks of things, the sound of things.
When you wake up or when you're on your weekend and you get the fork in the road message, or you get the subsequent 5 bullets. Hey, what the hell did you do, you lazy federal worker, this week?
That's what we want to know.
How?
And if you are proud of what you accomplished and what you did, please let us know. Please. Again, if you've ever worked in the private sector at a decent job, and I'm not talking, they're not going to ask you, and I'm not saying this isn't a decent job, but they're not going to ask you at fast food, what'd you get done? They have a way to evaluate you. If orders are taking 9 minutes to get out when there's only 2 people in the drive-thru, you don't need to continue working there because there's a problem. In the federal government, where many people refuse to show up for work, it's nice to know, what is my tax dollars going to, right? Don't you want to know what your tax? These are your employees, folks. These are your employees. And finally, we are downsizing the government to what it was intended to be. A minimal government, not one that has their hand in everything you do. And now, more than ever, these people are whining. But listen to this whiny voice and listen to the rest of this here. This is hilarious.
How frightening is it that someone on X, the owner of X, speaks to you directly to say, what did you do last week at work? And if you don't answer, I am going to fire you. But even more egregious.
I just want you to notice on her shirt, let me see if it'll, on her shirt is not an American flag pendant. That's a Ukrainian pendant, blue and yellow. So just so you know. And I don't know if you guys know, but she's frightened. She's frightened.
that someone on X, the owner of X, speaks to you directly to say, what did you do last week at work? And if you don't answer, I am going to fire you.
Amen.
But even more egregious, the president comes out, the most powerful person in the land, and endorses that message. How do you think that makes federal workers feel? When you wake up or when you're on...
I think if you were doing your job and you were doing a good job of it, and you know you can justify you keeping your position, it feels great. You're sitting there thinking all these slacks around me are going to be gone soon. I'll get my opportunity. I won't be punished for being a hard worker anymore. That's exactly what a good federal employee would be thinking. Oh man, these people. Now, check this out. There is now protests forming across the country, and this is why. The White House sent this out. We talked about it earlier if you guys missed it. Hold on, let me see why I'm getting tagged here. I don't see anything. The White House put this up, and it says, we will find, apprehend, and deport these terrorist sympathizers from our country, never to return again. President Donald J. Trump showed a picture of one of the people that ICE has detained. Again, this person's here on a green card. This person has worked against the United States. Again, has aided and abetted a terrorist organization from our college campuses, has broken the law at those college campuses, refused to leave, refused orders from our police, from college administrators. While he was the negotiator, people were assaulted. Schools were vandalized. And so we got a couple videos of what was going on in New York. Take a look at this one. Look, I love the people.
Over 1 million people have signed the petition for the release of Mahmoud Khalil. This is not a time to be by ourselves. We must build with the millions. In less than 24 hours, over 1 million people have signed the petition for the release of Mahmoud Khalil.
So they got a petition online to release Mahmoud Khalil. And we got some more information because always we know how this works out. Trump does something, the left fights it, an activist judge tries to stop it. Listen to what's being said here.
This phony what's happened to the Democratic Party. They stage this phony pretend performance at the State of the Union address. They said before the election that if Trump was elected, that it would be the end of American democracy. Well, the arrest of Mahmoud Khalil is an indicator of what the end of democracy looks like. And the Democrats are not here, but we are here. This is the beginning of the epic battle. We cannot think of this demonstration as just one more activity. We have to fight now, like the fight for our lives, the fight for this country, the fight to end genocide, the fight to stop a right-wing political dictatorship. And frankly speaking, the masses of people in this country are with us. They're not with Donald Trump, but we have to mobilize and fight.
So the masses of people in this country are with them, not with Donald Trump. I find that kind of amazing. I didn't know that. I didn't know that all 7 swing states, every county moving to the right. And Donald Trump said this before he was elected. We're going to get rid of the extremists on the college campuses. We're not going to allow people to do this to our education system. We are going to defund the schools that allow these illegal protests. When you have people paying for a college education, they are blocked because they are Jewish, or they are blocked because they don't assimilate with some Muslim culture. That's not the America I love. That's not the America I grew up in. And it's not the America we will stand for, folks. Take a listen.
And when Donald Trump took to social media to celebrate the arrest of Mahmoud Khalil, to make it clear that the Trump administration intends to go through with this illegal kidnapping and deportation. They intend to go through with this. The reason Trump had to get personally involved and go to social media is because more than 1 million people in the last day have signed that statement.
They keep going. 1 million people. We don't know who they are. They're probably, many of them probably aren't American citizens. But that we got more. Show you what else was going on again. The attacks on Cybertrucks, everything these people are doing. Again, this is the way to rile up a base. This is the way to create violence. It's everything the Democrats have done for quite some time now. And guys, don't forget, if you're just joining us or if you're new here, we are 100% viewer funded. It is the first of the month. We are behind on getting lights, camera, action paid for. If you want to donate, we are 100% viewer funded. You can go to Venmo at OreoJosh, GiveSendGo.com/Oreo2024. And if you prefer to use Zelle, you can go to our website, theoreoexpress.com, and scroll down a little. And there's a donate now button with all our links. Again, we are fighting not to let cancel culture win after being canceled off Facebook and YouTube for exposing exactly what the Democrats were doing, exposing the open borders, exposing what was Facebook for? Think about what was Facebook for. Facebook, the reason we got kicked off is because we showed you grown men, a coffee shop who had grown men in lingerie dancing for little children. A child-friendly drag show. And that's what kicked us off. The things that America needs to see that wouldn't have been seen, that wasn't on any news articles, that wasn't on any news programs. This is what they want to silence us. And we have some travel coming up. So your donations are a blessing and appreciated. Thank you. Take a look at this. This was them going down the street right there. Because I just want to call me whatever you want. I've been called every name in the book. But that just doesn't look like America to me. You see 0 American flags. You see people that hate the Western way, that hate American culture. And what are they doing? They're parading around on American streets funded by American taxpayers. Let me pull up this other one here in a minute. I want to see. There should be some updated ones from when. I just want to make sure we're doing this in order. So listen to this. This was CNN breaking news. A federal judge has temporarily blocked the Trump administration efforts to deport a Palestinian activist who helped lead protest at Columbia University. Again, activist judges. We expect this every time Trump does anything. If you notice, Doge has cut out a lot of wasteful spending. We've learned a lot of stuff about USAID and these other organizations that the money was going to NGOs that actively went against our Western ways here in the United States. You know, they wanted to transform us to some, I don't know, just the devil's playground. And we have to expect this. This is only going to get worse. This is only going to get worse. The fight's only going to get worse. And we have to stay there. And we have to keep that fight up. And that means you, whether it's locally, at city council, board of supervisors meetings, school districts. You can't sit here. And I've heard people say it. I actually had a guy, because I was wearing my MAGA stuff over the weekend when I was running. I think I had to run to Costco. And he's, oh, man, we're back. And I get what he means. And I was like, what's that? And he goes, your hat. And I was like, oh, yeah, there's a lot of work to do. He goes, man, with Trump in there, it's going to be all taken care of. I was like, no, Trump's only one man. Trump can't go down to your city council meeting, your board of supervisors meeting where they're illegally doing things, or they're not stopping illegals from voting. Trump can only do so much, and it's going to take us. Let's see what else video we had up here. I mean, it's taken over. I would say it's taking over a good portion of the internet today, this guy. And I see a lot of people going for the baby talk. Listen to this, like this guy did. This man has a wife who is 8 months pregnant. He's being held in ICE custody. Free Mahmoud. Well, listen, I'm not into separating families. I hear Democrats talk about Medicaid paid for over half the births in this country. Seems like an issue to me that Medicaid, your tax dollars have to pay for half the births in this country. It seems like we have a welfare state entitlement. So if we deport him and his wife, we deport them together. I think we need to do it. If it's 8 months pregnant, we got to do it quick, right? And then maybe, and we don't know this yet, Medicaid might even cover births at the Gaza Strip. I don't know. We're learning a lot about our own government, where our tax dollars are doing. But I'm sorry, these terrorist sympathizers that called for the execution of, I don't care if it's Jews, I don't care if it's blacks. Again, this is the Nazis of 2025. What else do we got going on today? Let's check it out. I think we got, so I wanted to see another thing that they're doing is that Trump is attacking students at these protests, these poor students that just want to exercise their First Amendment rights. So I looked and I did a little research. The University of, let's see. So I said, well, last time when we went through there and there was reports, and luckily even some left-wing places reported there would be 180 arrests at a university. Out of those 180, only 40 were students. So I started looking in here, and a lot of them don't have the statistics I'm looking for, but this one was reported. Arizona State University, 72 arrests. Guess how many of them were students? 3. That's 4% of the people arrested at Arizona State University. 4% were students. The rest were just extreme Democrat activists trying to destroy others' college education, trying to destroy the ability for American citizens to go learn. This one says broader analysis like the one CNN covering about 1,600 of the total arrests found that students and university affiliated individuals, faculties, and staff, so again, not students, extremists. You go to school to teach, not get involved in the politics of your students. It was reasonable to estimate that 50% of those arrested were not affiliated with the university. That's from CNN. 50%. That's just the ones they did. And I think that was Columbia, CCNY. That was CNN's estimate. So think about that. Think about that for a second. I'm not paying these, my tax dollars are going to these professors. They're going to these colleges. And guess what? We need to get rid of the activist. If you can go into a class and know that your professor is all about free Palestine and F Trump, I don't think you're getting an education. I don't. And I talk to a lot of college students that deal with this all the time, and they're scared to be themselves in class. They're holding their breath until they can graduate because they don't want it to affect their grades, and that's sad. So I don't know if you guys, we're going to talk about a little bit about some California corruption, guys. California, we're going to talk about Mayor Karen Bass. So there's been some details come out lately, and Karen Bass, who is not supposed to delete text messages, has now deleted text messages while she was on her trip back to California when she left after she already knew, had put out a tweet warning people that there's a high wind warning, a high probability for fire, to be safe, be on the lookout, and then said, "Oh, I didn't know there was anything wrong." Listen to this now. This is crazy. Again, talk about corruption. Talk about California corruption.
Text messages Mayor Bass sent and received about the Palisades fire were not saved.
Not saved. That's how they're trying to portray this. Not saved. I've never went in my phone and had to save one text message. I can go through my text messages right here, all the way down here, and let's just see. I have a text message. You guys will probably have a cow when you see this. I'm not going to go all the way down. But right now, I'm at 11/15 of 2020. On 11/15 of 2020, TikTok sent me a verification code to verify my account. But she's saying, "Oh, I didn't save them." And in the news, of course, fake news, ABC7 isn't saying, well, you don't have to save text messages.
The LA Times says it filed a request for all text messages Bass received about the fires while she was on a trip to Africa, but we're told there were no records of any text.
Mikey Ray with the Crazy Monday Rumble Rant. Thank you, Mikey Ray, for supporting us. We appreciate you. God bless you, and thank you for the blessing.
The mayor's office says Bass's phone is not set to save text messages. Despite both state and city law requiring government officials to save official communications, Eyewitness News requested copies of these texts, and our team was not made aware that they were deleted and told any response records would be produced by June.
But not set up. Not set up to save. I'm just going to go to my settings really quick, and I'm going to see something. General, right? Text messages. I don't think it's under general. Let's see, messages. This is a crock of shit. iMessage. Location, focus, Siri, search, notification, sensitive content warning, cellular data. Show contact photos, send read receipts, send as text message. Yeah, I guarantee you go into her phone, she'll have other text messages from people from 3-4 months ago. That wouldn't incriminate her. Again, I don't know why she hasn't stepped down. This is just the complete corruption of California. When you think of corruption, California should come to mind first. And just to give you an idea, speaking of L.A.,
South LA today,
and
this happened
the
on Florence.
failures. Take a listen to this. Sad we even got to talk about this stuff.
A man is dead after 4 other men tried to rob him in South LA today. This happened on Florence and Western Avenues near the Burger Palace. The 18-year-old victim refused to give up what they wanted, and was shot by one of the suspects. Those suspects then got away in a car. The victim later pronounced dead at a local hospital. Police say this does not appear to be gang-related.
Getting robbed in LA by 4 guys, getting shot, just another day in Los Angeles. We don't care about the citizens. We don't care about your hardworking folks. No. KLM 79, thank you for the Rumble Rat. Says swear jar crap. I'm not going to say the actual word. You ain't going to bait me into it. Thank you for the swear jar. And then once again, let's go over a little bit more California corruption. You guys know we have been covering Mayor, how do you say her last name? Hold on. Shang Tao. The one that has been investigated by the FBI, the one that has been full of corruption, and then when she got raided by the FBI, she blamed far right extremists. No lie, we laughed at it. Oakland is crap. I mean, Oakland is destroyed. And that was the first and only ever In-N-Out to leave an area. They didn't do it because business is bad. Business was great in Oakland. But so many people on a daily basis were getting robbed in their drive-thru. And guess what? Oakland, the home of defund the police. That's where, who was it that went to go do that? I got a picture of him in my head. Went to go do a video of the In-N-Out. And while he was outside of his car window was broken and they tried to rob his car. Benny Johnson. It's just insane. Well, guess what? We know that she's going to be on trial now, Mayor Shang Tao. And it says Oakland police arrest 2 men. Check this out. In connection with what they believed was an attempt to shoot and kill a man later identified as a key figure and a potential witness in the federal corruption case against former Mayor Shang Tao, the Chronicle has learned. I don't know. This is a San Francisco Chronicle right here. I don't know why we haven't heard more on this, why it isn't more popular. You would think, and it says right here, exclusive, 2 men were arrested after attempted killing of potential witness in Shang Tao corruption case. When we talk about Democrat corruption, they're worse than the mob, they're worse than the gangs. They are the Tren de Aragua of the United States. And it says here, I'll play this really quick.
Two men were arrested after attempted killing of potential witness in Shang Tao corruption case. Written by Megan Cassidy. This article is being read by an automated voice generated by Everlit. Oakland police arrested 2 men in connection with what they believed was an attempt to shoot and kill a man later identified as a key figure and potential witness in the federal corruption case against former Mayor Shang Tao, the Chronicle has learned. The man, businessman, and political operative Mario Juarez returned fire outside his Fruitvale neighborhood home during the incident last June 9th and was unhurt. Days later, the FBI raided the homes of Theo and her romantic partner, Andrew Jones, as well as David and Andy Daum, the father and son leaders of Oakland's curbside recycling contractor. In January, all 4 pleaded not guilty after being indicted on bribery-related charges, with federal authorities citing evidence that appeared to have been provided by Juarez. It remains unclear whether the alleged attempt to kill Juarez was related to his involvement in the corruption probe. Though Oakland police arrested the 2 men in December, they provided no additional details, and the Alameda County District Attorney's Office declined to immediately file charges. An office spokesperson said, "The men, whom the Chronicle is not naming, were freed as the investigation of the shooting continued." But public records reviewed by the Chronicle and statements from Juarez suggest that federal officials may have believed the gunfight and the FBI's bribery investigation were linked. The FBI...
Tell me that is not just absolutely insane. The people that it might have not been the mayor, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt, but the people they're aligned with and the people that with all this corruption is trying to do a hit job on somebody who's a witness in the federal trial. That is insane. That is insane. Before we move on really quick, guys, check this out. I want to talk about the things people are afraid to say out loud. Who's in control of America's nukes? It's not Biden. Meanwhile, we have Russian ships off the coast of Florida and full-blown wars in Ukraine and Israel. The world is at its most unstable point since World War II, and with nuclear weapons, the stakes are 10 times higher. How do people like you and I stay safe? Every prepper needs to have Radio Guard Ace, the only FDA-approved drug to treat radioactive fallout. Only the feds had it until now. That's why Rumble partnered with 5G Free the only company in the world that has a supply of RadioGuard Ace and the ability to prescribe it prophylactically. Get their radiation emergency kit with RadioGuard Ace, potassium iodide, Zofran, and Geiger counter. There's simply no other tools in your arsenal to protect against radioactive threat. Go to 5gfree.com, use promo code STUDIO, and save 15% off your radiation kit. Guys, head over there again to 5gfree.com, use promo code STUDIO, and save 15%. What else do we got now that we have done with California corruption? I think that was it for California corruption. Friday, we covered the fact that two, was it FBI or ICE agents? They had caught them. They were, they had leaked information on the ICE raids, and they were going to be prosecuted, serve up to 10 years in life. I want you to listen to this interview right now. They've caught more, and listen to the extents they're going to find out who the traitors of this country are. Democrats would call them heroes. You would call them traitors. Take a listen.
Okay, I want to talk to you about these two ICE employees. On Friday, you announced that you had found two ICE employees who were leaking information about incoming DHS raids on illegal immigrants, criminal illegal immigrants. There's also the news that you announced, and I think it's already begun, polygraph testing people within ICE, within various departments of DHS. Were these two individuals that you found leaking information, did you find them through the process of administering polygraphs?
Well, I won't talk about each specific case, but what I will tell you is that we have been utilizing polygraphs for 3 weeks now, and that we do have two DHS employees that are on administrative leave, and they're going to be facing consequences for what they've done to leak these operations. So they could face up to 10 years in federal prison for what they've done. And what they've done is by leaking the information on these ops is they put law enforcement lives in jeopardy. So we've got a lot of tools. I've got a lot of authorities under DHS. I'm going to use every single one of them to stop these leakers and make sure that they face significant consequences for what they're doing. They're jeopardizing our national security. They're hurting the lives of people who are just trying to enforce the law. And so I'm thankful that we've talked about these two, but I've got several more that will be revealed here soon. And I hope they're an example to everybody else within this federal government that President Trump is enforcing the law. For the first time, we have a president that cares what the laws are in this country, and he's going to enforce them. And he's giving us the tools that we need to make sure that we can follow through on it and people face consequences who break the law.
Really quickly, as a couple of follow-ups, how many more do you expect you'll be announcing that you've found out were leaking these plans?
We've got 2 or 3 more that I think within the next week we'll be able to announce. But, these are all cases and they're criminal cases. And we're working through how our processes work with employees within the Department of Homeland Security. But, Will, I think every cabinet member is being very aggressive on this. But in the Department of Homeland Security, this is a life or death thing that they're doing by jeopardizing these operations out there on the ground of ICE law enforcement, and not just like the ICE individuals. We partner every day with other agencies, with the FBI, the Department of Justice, with local law enforcement, state law enforcement. They're jeopardizing all of those individuals when they go out there and compromise this information.
Man, it's good to see people in there that are putting America first, that are looking for accountability, that are looking for the traitors, the people that your tax dollars are paying. And we had a huge report from Bill Malugin about ICE arrest in the Houston area. This is a lot. Bill Malugin says Houston announces the arrest of 646 illegal aliens in a week-long operation in the Houston area. 543 of them were criminals, included 140 aggravated felons, 34 sex offender. These are huge numbers for a single ICE office in 1 week. FBI, ATF, DEA, Texas DPS, CBP, and U.S. Marshals and the state departments, diplomatic security services all assisted ERO Houston with this operation. I'm going to pull this up right here and just give you an idea. It says 140 criminal aliens charged or convicted of an aggravated felony or other violent offense such as homicide, aggravated assault, or domestic violence. 34 criminal aliens charged or convicted as a sex offender or a child sex offense such as aggravated sexual assault of a minor, possession of child pornography, or rape. 38 criminal illegal aliens of illegal firearm offenses such as unlawful carrying of a firearm, alien in possession of a firearm, and aggravated assault with a firearm. 52 criminal aliens charged with convicted of illicit narcotics offenses such as drug trafficking and possession of a controlled substance. 51 criminal aliens charged or convicted with the property crimes such as burglary or theft. And 93 criminal aliens charged or convicted of driving while intoxicated. That is great work. This is promises made, promises kept, folks. So I want to thank you all for tuning in today. Thank you for those who did the Rumble rant. Appreciate you guys. It's been wonderful. And again, if you guys want to help us out, we're behind on the beginning of the month bills. We appreciate your blessing. You can go to Venmo at Oreo Josh, Cash App $Oreo Army, or givesendgo.com/Oreo 2024. And you could donate there. There's no amount that's too little. If you do $5 or 50, it all helps out and it all adds up. I mean, think about it. 100 people doing $5 is $500. And again, we still have some data left to pay for and some other things. So I want to say we appreciate you. Thank you very much. If anything comes breaking later tonight, we will be on later tonight to cover any breaking news if that happens. But for the rest of, if that doesn't happen, I want to say thank you and we will see you tomorrow. Again, appreciate everybody. Thank you for tuning in and have a blessed evening. We'll see you soon.
I'm excited to announce that we're having our first ever mega sale on overstock clearance and brand new products. For example, save over 50% on this season's flannel sheets. Queen size only $59.98. Kings only $69.98. They sell out fast every year, so order now. Save 20% on our brand new My Crosses. They're designed in the likeness of the one I've worn every day for over 20 years. They come in men's and women's, and they're made right here in the USA. Get our 2025 six-piece My Towel sets for only $29.98. Our initial quantities are extremely low, so get them now before they go. And our best-selling standard My Pillows, just $14.98. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to take advantage of our first ever mega sale. But wait, remember that $75 free shipping rule? Well, that ship is sailed because right now, every order ships absolutely free.